Hey Capricorn, welcome to your weekly forecast for April 25th through May 1st. This is going to be for Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. Now, you might stumble upon this video after the time frame I mentioned. That's just fine. You're going to find it whenever you are meant to hear it. Keep in mind, this is a general reading for the Capricorn collective. Not every single message is going to resonate. Take what does and leave what doesn't. We're going to see what is coming up here for Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. I feel like we need one more shuffle here. Alrighty, my dears and my darlings. Let's get right on into it. First card coming up here. I'm going to move you all a little bit closer. First card coming up here is the Death card. If I'm not mistaken, Capricorn, those of you who are my regulars, let me know. Have you guys had this card a few times over the past few weeks? I feel like this is kind of a reoccurring theme for Capricorn. I could be wrong, but I feel like this card has come up for you guys a couple of different times or a few different times over the past month or so, maybe month and a half. Now, this is Scorpio energy. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio. If you have a Scorpio placement, there could be really big changes and really big shifts happening for you in those areas of your life. However, this is a major arcana card. So regardless of whether or not you're dealing with a Scorpio, regardless of whether or not you have Scorpio placements, when this card comes up, it comes in with a very powerful message. It scares a lot of people, but there's no cause for alarm here. You don't need to be scared. Major arcana cards come up when we're coming into a new chapter in our life. It's a significant defining moment. The things that we're dealing with are directly connected to the things we came here to accomplish and master. So it's very powerful energy. The Death card can indicate that one cycle has come to a close and a new cycle is beginning. So Death card comes up when one thing is ending and a new thing is beginning. It's not like the Tower card where there's a sudden shocking end. This would be an end that you already knew was coming, or like something is running its course and now it's time to shift into a new gear, to go in a new direction. This is also a card that comes up a lot of the times when somebody may be experiencing ego death. Okay? And ego death sounds scary, but it's actually very liberating. It's when we start to go back to the authentic self, the original self, before all of the labeling and the programming that occurs as we're, growing up into adulthood. And you might be kind of scared in the beginning because you might feel like you're losing your joy for everything. You might be like, you know what? The people I used to love to hang out with, oh gosh, like I feel drained when I'm around them, or I'm not having fun when I'm around them. The music I used to love does nothing for me. The TV shows and movies I loved does nothing for me. And you might feel like you've lost your joy or you don't like anything. But that doesn't mean that you're incapable of experiencing joy. It just means that you're shifting and you're coming into a time now where you have to get to know yourself again. You have to kind of date yourself and get to know who you are and figure out what you like. And so this is going to require some sampling. It's going to require that you go out there and taste and touch and experience life to figure out what you do like. Some of you, your shift is your taste is changing, shifting. Your interests are changing. Some of you, even your type is changing. The type of people you were attracted to is even changing for some of you. But this is getting to know yourself and being in your authentic self. This is transformation. This is associated with the astrological sign of Scorpio, and sometimes Scorpio is referred to as the phoenix rising. We even have a phoenix bird right here. So it's like something is ending and you're coming back bigger, better, stronger. I do feel, Capricorn, that for some of you, we've had some really intense moon energy lately. And I know it's been kicking my butt. I don't know if any of you have been feeling it. Let me know in the comments if you've been feeling the lunar cycles more intensely lately. But I do feel that with these intense lunar cycles, some of you Capricorns are grieving certain parts of your life or certain experiences or certain people from the past. You're releasing it and you're healing it. But for some of you, it's like you're mourning. It's like you're mourning. And um, you're allowing yourself to have that process of releasing certain experiences or certain people from the past, and you're beginning to get your fire back again, right? You're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're beginning to feel stronger again. You're beginning to feel like your heart is opening up and ready to receive the replacement for that which has been lost. Whether it's something romantic, whether it's family, whether it's friendships, whether it's career, whether it's all of the above. But there's a sense of release and opening up to receive. And the Phoenix tells us that what is coming up in the new cycle is far better than anything that has fallen away, that no longer serves us, that is in the past. The next card that's coming up for Capricorn is the Ace of Pentacles. This is powerful, and this makes me excited for you guys. Now, the Ace of Pentacles, traditionally speaking, is a really positive card. And traditionally, people associate it with contracts, new offers, a new job, a raise, some kind of financial blessing coming in. And a lot of the times, the Ace of Pentacles is connected to financial improvements, right? It can be a higher level of income, a better standard of living, or a higher standard of living. But I get really excited when I see the Ace of Pentacles come up for people. We have to keep in mind the Pentacles are about energy. And that's how they got associated with money, because money is a way that we measure energy that's spent. You give your boss 40 hours, your boss gives you a dollar amount that represents the time you put in. But the Pentacles are about energy, okay? Energy. And that's why I get so excited when I see this card, because the Ace of Pentacles for me comes up in a reading when my guides are saying you're going through a massive energetic upgrade. You're going through a massive energetic shift. You're evolving. You're breaking out of generational curses. You're breaking out of inherited lower vibrational energies and patterns and cycles that have ran through your family. You're breaking out of all of that stuff. You're breaking out of long time blockages and stalemates, and you're shifting into higher energy, higher frequency. Now, in my experience, when people are going through a shift of this magnitude, a lot of the times you may have a physical release. You might have cold or flu symptoms. You might have aches and pains in your body. Some people get really, they need to be near the bathroom. They have a lot of clearing happening, like in their, stomach issues. And some people just get very tired. So when these kinds of shifts are happening, take it easy. Don't push yourself too hard. Don't overcommit. Don't overfill your calendar. Leave wiggle room. Leave time for downtime. Take naps. Rest. Don't push yourself too hard, because you're going through an evolution right now. You're going through a powerful restructuring, like you're restructuring your spiritual DNA. And so this is gonna mean that some of you really need to be gentle with yourselves right now. The Death card followed by the Ace of Pentacles, this is a massive shift. This is like life is never gonna be the same again, but in a positive way, in a good way, okay? I also feel those of you Capricorns who have been really hard on yourselves and have had a really hard time with the whole concept of like really loving yourself, embracing yourself, accepting yourself, this is going to start to become a lot easier for you. If you've been struggling with self-love or self-esteem, I feel like there's a cycle or energy coming in where that's being healed for you. And you're just kind of, flowing into this being gentle with yourself, being loving with yourself. The next card that's coming up here for Capricorn is the King of Cups. So again, there could be a Scorpio element for some of you, right? We've got the King of Cups here. This is a water sign. It could also be a Cancer or a Pisces. But we have all this water, so this could just be you, Capricorn, coming into your emotions. The suit of water is representative of emotion. So this could be you coming into your heart space. Some of you may be manifesting marriage. The King of Cups is oftentimes associated with husband energy, and that might be something some of you are stepping into or manifesting or calling into your life. But this is an energy here also of abundance, okay? Abundance, abundance, abundance. And emotional availability, right? Maybe some of you have been dealing with people that you feel are quite cold. And now you're maybe manifesting or calling in people who are more emotionally available, whether it's friendship, whether it's romance. It could be you becoming more heart-centered and more emotionally available. The King of Cups also sometimes comes up in my readings when you're learning to balance your generosity, especially since there's like financial blessing coming in for a lot of you. King of Cups sometimes comes up for me when you're finding the perfect balance between being generous but also being wise about when you're being generous and who you're being generous towards, right? King of Cups can be generous, but there's also certain expectations he has. He's not going to be taken advantage of. He's not going to be played for a fool. I've given this example before of like a kid going and saying, hey mom, hey dad, can I please borrow the car this weekend? I want to, go out on a date. I want to take my crush out on a date. And the parent might say, okay, fine, but you have a test coming up this week and I need to see you get a really good grade on that test. And here's a list of things that need to be done around the house before Friday. And you're gonna wash the car. When you bring it back to me, you're gonna have gas in it. You're gonna have it nice and clean. And so this parent could be generous, but this parent is also giving certain guidelines, right? Like, I can be generous, but here's the ways in which you need to behave, or these are the ways in which you need to contribute or to show respect. And so some of you Capricorns are laying down boundaries with people in your life who are expecting to receive from you. Okay, whether it's family, whether it's a romantic partner, maybe some of you Capricorns already have certain things that impress people. Maybe you're living in a nice place. Maybe you've got some really nice clothes. Maybe you have a nice car and people are drawn to you and they just expect you to treat them all the time. And so you might say things in just a very, oh, I'll get this one and you can get the next one, right? Like, you might just say things that, like, it's kind of understood that, hey, look, I'm not picking up the tab all the time, right? We got to take turns here. It might be just simply as, making things known in this way, right? Or just not tolerating disrespect. The next card that's coming up here for you all is the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is a card that comes up when our hard work is paying off. Seven of Pentacles tells us that a harvest is coming in, but this is not the time to push, and this is not the time to rush, because we need to let things happen within divine timing. If you plant a seed, you got to give that seed time to grow. If you're like, oh my gosh, it's not growing, and you're growing it 10 times a day because you think it's, you're watering it 10 times a day because you think it's going to grow faster, you're going to suffocate that poor little seed. Oh, it's not growing fast enough. Maybe I planted the seed in a bad spot. Let me dig it up and plant it somewhere else. You're not letting it take root. You got to let time do its thing. Okay? We need to respect the laws of time and physics, and not overly push ourselves or exhaust ourselves. We need to leave room for spirit to come in and help. Okay, I've given this example in the past about the Seven of Pentacles. It's like if I called you over to my place for dinner and you're like, oh, great, sounds good, let me help you out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm doing something on the stove and I'm like, can you please get the salad going? I haven't done the salad yet. And then you go and you get all the stuff. You get the lettuce, you get the tomatoes, you get the cucumber. You're like about to chop it up. And I come in and I'm like, no, 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 I don't do it that way. I don't cut it that way. And this is how I do it. And I start chopping up the salad. So you're like, okay, well, let me go and work on the stove. And the second you go over to the stove, I go over there and I push you out of the way. No, 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 that's not how I do it. I do it this way, right? When we do that, we don't allow people to come in and help us. And sometimes we do this with spirit. We're in a hurry, we have very precise expectations, and we're not resting. We're not leaving something alone. Sometimes we need to rest and leave something alone to leave room for spirit to step in and work. So some of you Capricorns need to learn to get out of the hustle and grind. I know it's a very, very common mindset these days, right? Hustle, grind, boss life, all this stuff, but we're not designed to be that way. And it doesn't have to be so grueling, so grinding, so exhausting. So some of you are breaking out of that hustle mindset. And some of you are learning to, do the work, but then let yourself rest, let yourself decompress, and let spirit come in and help. So this is a big shift that a lot of you Capricorns are going to be going through. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign. Some weeks your moon sign and rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you click on the link in the description of this video, it will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. Love readings for April are linked in the description. Love readings for May are already posted, and those are listed in the video tab. And the daily messages are also being posted every single day. So be sure to check out the card of the day as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you have a wonderful week, Capricorn. Take care and be well, my darlings.